Hello and welcome back to the student series where I will be cutting the dovetail sockets on this box. I've just watched a half-hour video on how to do it. I'm scared. I've got my notes. Let's see how it goes.
Wow! Excuse me!
I'm building a shield.
Using my own beams against me.
Yeah. It's not even worth it. I thought it was going to be quite good, but no, it wasn't. It's not big enough. Don't judge me. And I'm furious because it's stressful. It's very satisfying with a sharp chisel though.
Is it?
Assuming I sharpened it. Alright. So, I am levelling out the bottom bits of the tails. Yeah.
Yes.
And there was one particular tail where I didn't do a good job at all at actually cutting down to the line.
Yeah.
That one. I'll B-roll it in a moment.
Okay.
What would you suggest? Should I actually get the saw out and just cut down to the line, or should I chisel it?
I would get a chisel in the vice obviously, push it up against that and then just roll it down like that to continue the line. And then chisel in from there.
While it's flat on the
While it's
bench.
flat.
So vertical for the edge.
Yeah, don't use a mallet for the vertical bit, just roll it by hand.
Yeah.
And then
and then flat for the rest of it.
flat for the rest of it.
Lovely, thank you very much. So you can see I've got it vertical in the vise and I'm using the chisel to work down that little bit that I'd left over. Obviously my hand's in the way, sorry about that. Then it was flat on the bench to fix that last little bit. Now I'm not saying you're a complete idiot, but you're a complete idiot. He lost a key. How can you lose that? for his lathe.
Right, so Rob has completed fitting the tails, well, kind of cutting the sockets actually. He hasn't quite fitted them just yet, but what would you say was the hardest part?
Well, for me personally, it was the sawing, as per usual. It's I guess, for lack of experience from having not done it before. That angle seemed alright when I went across the line at the top.
Yeah.
Went from the back forwards, little cuts across. That seemed okay, but often I was sort of unsure when I did the first sort of few strokes, which then made the line very messy.
Okay.
Which didn't help. So then that meant I wasn't sure what side of the line I was on.
Good.
Yes, so I had a few of those, and then when I came down with the longer strokes, while I might have followed the line on this side, the back side did not follow it, so clearly I didn't get the angle quite right.
Were you only using the Japanese saw?
Yes.
Right, okay. So one of the problems that I have with Japanese saws as well, which is why I don't use them too much now, is exactly what Rob said. You cut on the line on the top, it tracks the line beautifully down the front, but for some reason you get a little bit of an angle on the back of the tail, on the back of the socket.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's just down to too much pressure on top of the Japanese saw when you're using it, I think.
See, I made a very conscious effort to be very light with it and use the whole thing. So I don't know if it's all that.
Maybe it's just because I haven't quite figured out what it is yet, but I think it's the fact that I'm so used to using this stiffer plate on this, going to something like this, I don't know, maybe it is pressure for me perhaps, because
maybe it's pressure towards one end.
Yeah,
like,
or a slight twist or something on it. Yeah. It is something that I see quite a lot of Japanese saws. Like, don't get me wrong, they are amazing to get you started in the cut. I mean, you obviously found that quite easy.
Yes.
To actually use them, they're really easy, but you just sometimes get a little bit of deflection on the back edge. I'm sure that just comes down to practice.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And if I'd tried to use that, I think I would have had a lot more difficulty with that top part. Trying to get that line neat and tidy, especially when I said I made a slight mistake, roughed over the area, now I can't see what I'm doing. Well, considering how fine that saw is, it doesn't matter so much that I've made a rough area, because that's still going to be thinner, even with a mistake, than that would have been.
This is true.
Overall.
This is true. And the other thing is, you made a conscious effort when you cut these out that you were looking at the exposed face.
Exactly.
Whereas if you were to look at this from the back edge, you'd get that back line completely straight, which is a bit pointless really, because it's going to be hidden once the tails are assembled, and then you'd have some undercut or overcut, whatever it would be, on the front of the pins. So always make sure you're looking at the component from the front when you're cutting it out, and then if something happens on the back, doesn't matter, it's all hidden. You'll see that in the next video anyway.
I think most of the time I sort of did overcuts anyway. Looking by the back of these, I can see a lot of pencil markings still there. So from what I did, it's not the worst in that case.
Any other pointers?
Any other pointers?
For me at this stage, sharp tools.
Yeah, that made a difference. And I think I noticed it was quite blunt towards the end of me doing it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be bothered to... It's typical, isn't it? I just can't be bothered, therefore I end up with a worse product.
The thing is, you can kind of get away with it being semi-blunt when you're using it with the mallet. Like when you're chopping down vertical like that, because you've got the mallet to drive it. It's when you get it upright and...
And you're doing it handheld.
Yeah, and you're going in with the vise, obviously, and you're going in halfway, flipping it around. That's where you need it to be really sharp, because you haven't got the vise, you haven't got the mallet to drive it anymore.
Yeah.
And if you end up putting too much force on it and then you hit that back corner, it's not going to be pretty. So you need to have maximum control at that point.
I was very fearful of that, and I was just thinking, can I put in the effort to go and sharpen it, or is it all right? Is it actually?
It's getting there. I can begin to see that white edge on it.
Yeah, I mean, I did often sort of look at it, looking for that, and I never quite saw it, but I thought, it's...
Nah, that's okay. I think you...
What are you doing to my African Paduk? How dare you?
That's okay.
Just chopping into it.
Yep.
What was there? I'm sure there was something else. Oh, just a small thing. When I was actually getting that angle in afterwards.
Oh yeah.
I kept on going the wrong way. Matt told me, oh, you've gone the wrong way. So I thought, I'll fix that. Did it and just did the same angle again.
What he's referring to here is when you're chiseling down into the sockets, you obviously need to match the angle of those pins. So for this one, the angle of the chisel is correct. Rob decided to angle it the other way and start mashing into the pins. To which I said to him, Rob, you're going the wrong way. He's like, oh yeah. And did the same thing. So don't do that.
It wasn't quite that, but I took the chisel away and then put it back. It wasn't just like I tilted it even harder into it.
Yeah.
But that being said, once you turn it over to get to the other side, then all the angles flip round.
And you don't need to worry about angling it then.
Oh, I forgot about that bit, and I just angled it anyway.
Yeah, but you can do. But
yeah,
you don't need to.
Yeah.
You don't need to. So
awesome.
Good. Nice work.
Thank you.
Rob hasn't quite got any of them fitted yet, so
no.
In the next student series video or the next page on my website, if you're watching it on there, you will see how to actually fit these tails and do that final fitting to get this down to the correct size.
Yeah, some of these are going to need some work.
I think they will.
Yeah.
Cool. So, you're now ready. Don't punch me in the face on this one. You're now ready to move on to the next lesson. You can do so by clicking the link below. Rob will show you where the subscribe button is.
There.
And see you in the next video.
See you then.